Alright, let's go ahead and start our first story here. I've been weighing the pros and cons of getting some of this pre-generated content or just starting over from the beginning so that you can see the process, because I kind of want to show the process and show how quickly I can make this work. At the same time, I found a story that I liked and I kind of wanted to keep it. So kind of as a balance between those two, I saved it. And I'm going to start a new one just so that I can show you the process. So I'm going to recalculate the spreadsheet right now and see what we have. Alright, so it starts in this unnatural cave. Okay, we have the starting location here. Let's see. Standing by a glowing pool. We have lots of buildings, so this unnatural cave looks like it's heavily Okay, it used to be inhabited. There used to be this city here, but now it seems mostly abandoned. Eerie moonlight fills the cave. It's not really moonlight, but light from glowing rocks and other sources of light here. But yeah, sitting next to this pool, you can see this abandoned pit dwelling and a farm grove of some sort. Looks like, what is it, glowing mushrooms? Something is being farmed here. Let's see what characters have for us. I can look at the world history and stuff later. I'll just save that for... Okay. Alright, just at a glance, I can see some very interesting world history here. Okay, we have a story. Good, I can see opening scenes. But the first thing we need is a character. And since we don't have a player to select the character for us, I will select characters from the list that I have down here. So I keep characters in kind of these packages, so to speak. So I have these 3 packages I will copy from the spreadsheet and then unpack. And I saw just the first character on this list looked really interesting, so we will go ahead and go with her, even though I'll unpack the others for using later as we encounter characters. The first one here's our first character. You look down and see yourself. So let's describe quickly here. We have, okay, kind of a short build here. She is a fire nymph. I'm not sure what exactly that is, but I'll let you imagine. Shadow mage. A fire nymph shadow mage. Short, kind of petite, slightly, I wouldn't call her chubby, but has kind of a rounder face. I may make some AI art for this to kind of describe her here. And yes, she wakes up next to this glowing pool, trying to figure out, where am I? What am I going to do? So let me copy the map that we're in here and see where she goes from here. Wakes up next to a pool, glowing pool. Looks around to see what's here and what can she do. Well, looks to the north. More glowing pools. Can't see much beyond that. South. More glowing pools. East and west, what do we have? Okay, to the west we have a mushroom forest. She could go exploring off to the mushroom forest to see what's there. She could go another mushroom forest to the east. How about that? Alright, well, we got some consistent things. Exploring north and south, glowing pools. Exploring east and west, mushroom forests. Let's see. And what decision does she make? Based off of her personality here, let me get a quick look at interesting name here, Rike. That actually fits. Rike. You know, Rike. Oh, let's make it Rike. Her name is Rike, and what is she going to do? Okay. Not much of a fighter, which actually makes sense. Shadow Mage may rely more on deception. Does like to talk, good negotiator. Let's see what kind of choices she ends up making. The first question, of course, is why am I here? What am I doing here? So she's looking here, looking around. Right here where she stands, she can see the pit dwelling and a farm grove. So she wants to see what is in those buildings. Let's see. The local building here, we can take a look at that. She wanders into the pit dwelling to see what's there. There are, looks like some bodies here, some kind of feathered orc dead on the floor. You can see looks like sets of skins that are hanging from the walls. There is a taxidermied raven here, but lots of various body parts and pieces of creatures and animals strewn about. It looks like it's intentionally displayed here. There's no signs of struggle that's ripped this place apart or anything like that. It appears just naturally messy. Let's see, Rike looks around to see what she wants here. She's kind of curious at what she finds, but there's not a lot of signs of valuables. Most of it looks like body parts and trash. She uses her shadow sense through the shadow magic to see if there's anything useful. She decides that there is a small knife she can see here with some magic ability, so she picks that up. Let me go ahead and add that to her character list, that she has that small knife. What does that do? Got it. Okay, so I added that to her character sheet here. Let's see, what does she do next? Next, she leaves the pit dwelling. She checks out the glowing farm grove. Here, she can see, looks like food. Food has been taken away. There used to be food here, but it looks like it's been scavenged since then. Whoever used to live here decided to take everything before they left. So most of it has already been picked over. Let's see, what direction does she choose to go in next? She chooses to go east into the mushroom forest. And let's see. East in the mushroom forest. What does she find? Okay, here. She goes east because here she could hear the sounds of people. So she sneaks in closely to see what they are doing. Naturally being somewhat cautious and having just woken up here by this glowing pool. She doesn't know why she's here. And is trying to figure out who she is, what's going on. Head spinning, something happened here. And here in the mushroom forest, what does she find? Groups of animals and people here. Looks like they are camped. Here we have there's an orc camped here, together with a human. Human female, hard to say what it is. It looks like she has something important with her. What does she have with her? All right. Rike can sense that there is something powerful. She stays back in the shadows just to watch. The couple are here tending to a camp that they've made. Kind of a sandy patch between the mushrooms. They have a tent and they are trying to look around into the glowing shadows around them and see where they can go from here. So they're camping underneath the shelter of the mushroom forest. What else do we have here? Various insects wandering around. Some very large winged insects here. But they keep their distance, being wary of the campers. Let's see, Rike. What does Rike want to do here? Looking at this, she decides she could try to use her shadow magic on them and use it to communicate with them, but she decides, better than that, to move along instead in another direction. Where does she go next? She would like to keep going east, but it's hard to move past this camp. She does manage to sneak through the shadows past the campers, and she succeeds in sneaking by them, skirting far around them, and continuing east. Here, there are some winding tunnels, and she hopes these tunnels can lead her out. Maybe back to the surface. She tries to remember what was going on and why she was here. And let's see, is she successful? Moderately successful. She managed to get back some memories of why she was here. But those memories are limited. She does know that she just had to make some kind of hard choice. Doesn't remember what it was. But it was something very emotional for her, but she can't remember what it was. So something hit her memory, which of course we use the amnesia trope here because we are starting with a character that I just generated a moment ago, and that is the easiest way to deal with that. And she knows that she needs to escape this place somehow. So she sees this tunnel and thinks, okay, this is my way out. Doesn't know why she needs to escape, but she knows that she does. The question now is this a way out that she can use? So she finds this tunnel. There's not much in it. mostly abandoned buildings, just like you see everywhere here. There were quite a few people here before, and now they are mostly gone. She can hear voices to the north. So there's probably some more people up there. Does she decide to check out the voices? No, she decides that she needs to focus on escaping, and that's what she's going to do. Let's see then. So, not to go north and see what the voices are. That looks like it's more of a mushroom forest there as well. She decides to follow the winding tunnels. The tunnels here, okay. It looks like the tunnels follow some kind of river. It leads up probably to an exit of some sort. Where is our exit? First, let's see in the map where the tunnels lead. They lead all over the place. There's this weird network of tunnels. It just goes everywhere. Is there an exit? Aha. There is an exit. And I should have parsed this map before just diving into the story, but here we are. So now let's go ahead and take a moment to check the map and see if we can find a way in or out. Okay, I like that. So there is the exit. Other things that we need to be aware of. Other encounters that Rike could find, but she's trying to escape this area, she's probably not going to find. Maybe something will lead her back into this cave once she regains her memories. And she figures out why she needs to leave. So let's see, encounters are 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I didn't check to see what that is. I can check right there. Okay. Okay. That's important. 4, 5, 6. We'll probably end up swapping out 4 and 6. 5 is plot worthy. Let's put 5 up here. When I do these things, I do have a tendency to talk out loud, which is one of the reasons I'm recording this and showing kind of how the whole system works. Let's make 4 here, and then 6 we can put right here. So she tries to find her way out. Uses a little bit of shadow magic to see if she can detect an exit. No, she can't. So she'll have to pick a direction at random. She doesn't want to get caught, so she avoids the voices she can hear to the north. And besides, she wants to take the tunnels anyway. But the tunnels are somewhat messy. They go all over the place. She wants to follow the water moving upwards and figures that will help guide her out. And so she she sees several tunnels that she could take. The winding intersections lead mostly downwards, and she sees and can sense kind of in the shadows where the different intersections go. At least 1, 2, 3 other tunnels that she could follow. It looks like... Aha. There are more tunnels. Interesting. But no, yeah, those tunnels she doesn't see from here. So from the tunnels she can see 1, 2, 3, 4. Or she can go back the way she came, north or south from here. So it's kind of a labyrinth, but she picks the tunnel where the water is coming from, which leads north but not into the mushroom forest. So it seems to go up and out of this cave. And as she follows it, more voices. Alright, there's someone at the exit of this cave. And the exit, of course, what do we have? Okay. Yeah, I will be editing this video to cut down some of the waits and pauses and things to make it more palatable, but understand that the time it takes to go through everything I described here isn't too long. And if we were actually making this with players, you would get to choose where to go, what to do for yourself. There's a whole map to explore, and I have a whole story to explore after it. And I'll have a chance to kind of unpack that, look at things, figure out what's going on. If you were making these choices yourself as a player, that would give me time to copy the other plot and lore information over, figure out more of that information as we go, and build the story from there, which we will be doing. And hopefully the next video will help us discover who Rike is and where she's going. Maybe she'll be able to get more of her memories back somehow. For now, she can see the water leading up, and here's the exit to this cave, she hopes. What does she find here? The winding tunnels lead up to a very heavy looking door. There is water leaking through the door, which of course is the reason why we have this little river here. It looks like we have a human standing guard, and together with the human, some kind of orc. Okay, human male, orc female, not sure what they're doing, but they're standing there guarding this big, heavy looking stone door that has water leaking through it. In fact, she can use her shadow sense to tell what's on the other side, and it looks like, there's water on the other side. She can't really, let's see if she can figure this out. No, she doesn't figure it out. So I don't need to explain that part, since Rike didn't figure out what the deal is with the door. She just wants to get to the other side of it. And she can see the two people here, and she was wondering, should I talk to them, or should I try to force my way through, sneak by? She definitely wants to sneak through the door. Does she want to talk with them? Let's see. She's tempted to talk with them, but something deep inside her tells her not to. So she chooses not to talk and just to wait. Wait and see what happens. Alright, so she sits by to wait and see what happens. And let's see. The two guards are not particularly talkative themselves. They are discussing something about some construction project, something that they're building. There is some discussion of survivors. Rike is hiding in the shadows, using her shadow magic kind of to create more shadows around herself, make herself harder to see. It's not really invisibility. If she were to cross the street with this, people would see this mass of shadows moving by, which is not invisible at all. But if you're already in a dark cave, it will make you blend in with the shadows effectively enough. She instinctively understands some kind of the shadow magic powers that she has, but she's not sure what exactly she can and can't do yet. So she's going to need to experiment a bit to find out. Alright. So as she waits, the guards discuss more of their plans, hum some music, and after a little bit, one of them gets out a book and starts reading to the others, telling some story about one thing or another. It looks like it's a story about hunting prey somewhere, some hunting story. And as she waits longer and longer, decides, nope, she's going to wait this out. She needs to get through this door. And to her luck, the guards both decide to fall asleep. In fact, they seem like something happens. The guards notice something, and Rika isn't sure what it is. But the guards are suddenly very interested in falling asleep. They are almost panicked in how much they decide they need to fall asleep, which is very interesting. She tries to imagine why they might be panicked about the need to fall asleep. Are they playing dead? Is being asleep hiding from something? Whatever the case may be, she decides this is her opportunity. So she sneaks up past them while they are pretending to be asleep or trying to fall asleep. No, they're definitely trying to fall asleep. And once she's convinced that they are actually asleep, she reaches the door and tries to puzzle her way through it. She tries to figure out the mechanism for opening the door, and it is not working. Let's see. As she's trying to figure that out, something is coming. She can hear movement. Wonders, is this what the guards are trying to hide from, to keep from getting... Why is the reason they need to fall asleep? And she sits by, waiting in the shadows, and can see something moving. It's this kind of rippling wave moving across the ground. It looks almost liquid at first, and then she sees it's made up of a variety of little spines, like little twigs moving along the ground. She's not sure what it is, but she can see it moving along. It moves to the two bodies there, and it seems to be looking for something. It finds the two guards sleeping, pokes the little sticks into them as it moves by, and then decides to leave. And it is hunting around, searching for her, kind of like it's sniffing for her, like it can see her, or sense that she's there. She manages to evade it, and then the rippling little stick things eventually move along. She attempts the door again, and this time figures out the mechanism and unlocks it. There is a burst of water coming out, and she can hear ocean waves a little bit, but she has figured out her way out, manages to close the door again. At this point, she does realize that, okay, this door is to keep the water out. This is close to an ocean. There's a high tide and low tide, and right now, she's not sure which it is, but it looks like the tide might be rising. So she makes her way out of the tunnel to hopefully get to the beach wherever it is and escape this rising tide. And more importantly, figure out who she is and what she's doing. So next time, we will do some more self-exploration and find out where we are on this beach. And I'll have more lore and things ready, so I look forward to doing that next time. Have a great day.